All right, let's turn now to the race for City Hall in New York. Democratic candidate Bill de Blasio, he's been slammed with a host of unflattering headlines lately. They brand him as an acorn-backed Sandinista-loving lefty. TJ would love that. Perhaps even too far left for true blue New York City. Now that the primary is over, the media, it's trained its sights much more on de Blasio and its past. Will he be defined in the public eye as a hard lefty or as a more traditional Democrat? And Dominic, he's still ahead in every poll you can look at here. It's always the way where you run to your party's whatever, left or right, whatever your party is, but then you run to the middle in the general. You know more about this guy. Is the bios that as a young man that he was, bleeding heart all over the place, something you should be worried about or no?
Well, as I have said, every day that goes by with their headlines like this, it's a good day for Joe Lhota and not for Bill de Blasio. To Bill de Blasio's credit, he's embracing this. He's not answering the direct question, but he's not running from it. And so he's out there running a general election campaign almost like he's trailing. He's almost on almost every morning radio show that you can imagine. And so, but he's got to be careful, Richard. I'm surprised that Christine Quinn and Bill Thompson didn't find this stuff and make it an issue. That's what I'm surprised about.
I'm not sure it would have hurt him in the Democratic primary.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it wouldn't have hurt him, but maybe it would have. But I'm surprised he got this far.
So give me the playbook. I know that he did a meet and greet with Obama, gave him a little bit. Who else should he surround himself with if he wants to convince Democrats, of which is a hell of a lot more of them than Republicans in New York City, that, hey, yes, I'm a liberal here, and that's okay in New York City, but I'm also not looking to, create Occupy Wall Street 24/7. I still get it that the economic engine that drives New York City is what we need to, certainly at least nurture.
Well, right now, Richard, he remains in the captain's chair. He picked up the endorsement of the firefighters union today that had endorsed Bill Thompson. He picked up the UFT, United Federation of Teachers, the other day. As long as he continues to do things like that, he should be okay. It helps when President Clinton meets him last night and his son is there, Dante, and President Clinton, remember he had an afro as well from when he was growing up. And the president even referenced—
We're talking about Obama.
Right. Obama had a big afro.
Yeah, you said Clinton had too.
I said Clinton?
It's confusing.
I said Clinton?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. In Clinton's Oxford days.
A little Freudian. Ain't that much afro in the world. A little Freudian slip there. But anyway, when the president references his son's afro, it's a good thing. Everybody goes along with it.
Andrew, can you remember a time where a mayor who was largely popular overall, Bloomberg, I think, will be remembered far more fondly than not when it's all said and done, had a bad last year, maybe a bad last couple of years. That all said, everybody's running from him like he's the plague. And it's not just the mayoral candidates, it's everybody.
I can't think of a mayor who's been in this situation, but the guy who comes to mind is Bill Clinton in 1999 and 2000 when Al Gore didn't want to have anything to do with him, and obviously the Republicans were running hard against. Yeah. Right, and obviously the Republicans were running away from him. It kind of baffles me because his own his approval rating is in the red. It's positive. It's a +1 on the approval rating, and nobody wants to have anything to do with him. I think people just had enough. It's just—
You think more fatigue than anything else?
It's time to turn the page. I think there's a lot of that, and you're starting to see one of the things that got de Blasio his numbers as big as they are. There is a sense that it's been Manhattan only for Michael Bloomberg and the other 4 boroughs.
Don't forget about the outer boroughs.
Giuliani was in a worse position. His was
and believe it or not,
Lhota
wants to get the love hug by Giuliani much more than Bloomberg.
He had 9/11 in the last couple of years.
But the day before 9/11, Rudy Giuliani cannot be elected dog catcher in New York City.
Understood.
All right. When we come back from the break, interesting debate for our table. Would you pay for good behavior? Bloomberg administration has been quietly operating a cash for good behavior program in the Bronx, but we're starting to get data back, and we'll tell you if it's actually worked and if it's the right or wrong thing to do. That conversation straight ahead.